You're listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to Call to Campbell. I'm Ty.
I'm Eric.
And this is part of Culttober. And Eric, this is the first time you've been on Call to Campbell in a while.
I know.
I was trying to think. I don't know if you were you on the 4th of July special? The McHale's Navy one?
McHale's Navy? No, I wasn't. I don't believe I was.
Man, I don't know when last time you were on here. It's been a few months since you've been on Call to Campbell.
I know. It really has. I've been away to a cabin. I made it back. Fine. It is exciting to be back.
You've been deep in Warhammer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been so grim and so dark. It was kind of nice to come back and see all the quips again. This dialogue, I'll tell you. But anyway, we'll get there.
Yeah, and today, this is part of Culttober, our month-long celebration of all things Halloween. And this is the big return of Call of Campbell, coming off our summer hiatus that we took. And today, we are doing something special. We've done this once before.
Yeah.
But we are doing a comic book review.
Woo!
And the comic book is a Bruce Campbell essential, I would say. For any Campbellite, a must read. This is Army of Darkness, Bubba Hotep.
That's right. The mashup that you never knew you wanted.
I think everyone wanted it. I think no one knew they were going to get it. And here we got it in comic book form. I mean, the two, in my opinion, the two most iconic Bruce characters. Bubba Hotep and Ash Williams together. Not on screen, but in comic book form, and I'll take it. So.
Yes. I mean, we've seen two Bruces before or more. But
true.
Yeah. This is the two Bruces that I really am pretty excited about. Because you're right, they're pretty iconic roles as far as he goes. Ash, definitely. And I would argue Elvis as well. I'm with you there.
Yeah. And I will say, one of my biggest joys from Call of Campbell, if any, there's a lot of things I've enjoyed about it, but one of my biggest joys was showing you guys Bubba Hotep for the first time.
I know. We thought you were mad.
That was one of my biggest joys. And you guys coming away from it loving the movie.
Yeah.
I had hoped. I was pretty certain you were going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I was very iffy about Ben because Ben has very contentious opinions on almost anything. Right. So I was like, he will surely find a reason to not like this movie. But no, he walked away loving it as much as I think all of us did.
Seriously. Yeah.
And, Bubba Hotep is one of those movies that if you haven't seen it, you got to see it because it's great. It's really hard to explain anytime I want anyone to watch it.
It's a hard sell, isn't it?
It's a very hard sell. It's like, well, do you want to watch this movie, Bubba Hotep?
Oh, sure. What's it about?
Well, what is that?
Yeah.
And it's Elvis and JFK fighting a mummy in a retirement home. And then it's instantly, well, no, I do not want to watch that.
It's like, no, thanks. Yeah.
But once you can twist somebody's arm and get them to sit down and watch Bubba Hotep,
yep,
immediately sold. I've never shown it to anybody, and they have not loved it.
Yeah, I couldn't see how they could not. So yeah, like Ty was saying, if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Yeah,
one of Bruce Campbell's best movies ever.
Yeah, it's a very different. It's like I would say if Bruce was ever going to win an award, like a serious acting award for anything, it'd be Bubba Hotep.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If that had more of a budget behind it, that could have been one of those like for your consideration. Movies. Yeah.
You felt
it. But we're looking at the comic book today.
Uh-huh. Yes.
And this came out, and I believe I'm not seeing a date on.
Yeah, I'm looking to see when is the publication
this was printed in 2019 is when this was printed. But
2019.
Pretty sure it came out a little before that. But yeah, this was printed in 2019. And this is the IDW Dynamite collection. So who do we got behind this this masterpiece here?
Behind this work in front of me, it was written by Scott Duvall. The art was by Vincenzo. Jesus, I forgot about my curse of Campbell. That's the first name. Federici. Maybe
Vincenzo Federici.
Yeah,
put some Italian into it.
Yeah, Eric. There we go. If I read them all as Italian, it should be fine, right?
It should be.
The colors were by Michele Monti. Letters by Taylor Esposito. collection cover. Those were good.
Oh, I love those. Those were a really cool feature in this book.
Diego Galindo. Was this made in Italy or something? Edited by Kevin Kettner. Now, okay, yeah, Kettner.
Get back to a little more American names.
And then a special thanks they have in here to a Carol Mora of MGM. And then they credit the original Bubba Hotep story to Joe R. Lansdale.
Yeah. Now, this I will say. So this book, one of the things I noticed about reading this is I don't believe this is our Bubba Hotep from the movie.
You know what? I was okay. That would explain some things. Then they had some explaining to do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Bubba Hotep from the Joe R. Lansdale novel that the movie is based on, because that was one of the things I was reading. I was like, man, this Elvis acts a lot different than our movie Bubba Hotep.
Oh yeah,
our movie Elvis. And from what I was reading, that's kind of the way he is in the book. He's more animated and more cartoonish. So that's again, a little more tongue in cheek with the way that he's portrayed.
And those karate moves, way more.
His karate moves. I like the use of the song references and lines.
Oh my gosh, I know.
I've got a couple of those marked here in my book that I can use as examples when we get to them. But
nice, that was very funny. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, this is a great read. I'm not a big comic book fan. Like, I'm not a comic book fan. I'm not a big comic book reader. I don't know. I like to read and I like looking at pictures, but I just don't like the combination of the two. It's sensory overload for me.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
I agree. I was actually just kind of explaining that to somebody earlier today too. Like, I'll admit it, I never was much of a comic book reader, like you said. Big fan of stuff. Like, I love seeing comic book movies and things like that.
Yeah.
And I love the stories, the concepts behind them. Like, I'll read about comic books all day.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I'll watch like explanation videos or I'll find like articles.
Yep.
But to actually read a comic, I don't know, for some reason I find it to be taxing.
I don't typically retain. It's too busy on the page, I think, for me, between, the word bubbles going around and everything. And that's just me. Like, a lot of people do enjoy comics, of course. Well,
each their own.
Yeah. But
I'm sure there's a lot of people that probably really enjoy comics that don't like reading, novels and stuff. And,
right. Yeah.
But yeah, I can read a novel, no problem. But it's something with the comics. But the two comics we've read here on Call to Campbell prior, we did the Man with the Screaming Brain, the comic adaptation, and that one I found that took me a while to get through. This I was able to do this on one sitting. So it wasn't a lot of words, I guess. But it wasn't a lot of words. It was a lot of action and stuff, and it was really easy to just turn the page.
It's very action heavy, I will say that.
Very, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
The Man with the Screaming Brain was a little more expository, and had a lot of stuff they were trying to put into the comic. But this right here, not so much. It's just Elvis and Bruce, or Elvis and Ash, I should say.
Yep.
Fighting Deadites. But I think we can get into it here. We can talk a little more about this comic, this masterpiece here that we have in front of us. Erica, what do we do here? It's been a while. I want you to dust it off and see if you remember it.
Let me dig deep into my brain. I hear a big chinned voice saying to me that it is time to get groovy. So let's get groovy.
Grab your boomstick and fire up the Delta. It's time for ACTION. Join the cult of Campbell. Groovy.
And if you're lucky a little later, I'll let you play with my boomstick.
So, Eric, I know this is our first time reading this book. I just sent this to you, a month ago or so?
Yeah, about a month. Yep.
Sent this to you, told you to read it. We were going to have Ben on this, but unfortunately he had to go to a wedding. Not his own,
Weddings.
but he had to go to a wedding.
Yeah.
and missed out on the recording. But I would have loved to have got his opinion on this.
I know.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
I always find Ben's opinions interesting, although not accurate, but interesting. I like hearing them. I like hearing them.
We bring different perspectives here at Call of Campbell, and
they're called opinions for a reason.
Yep, that is right.
I like hearing them, but from what I understand, this was originally a 4-part miniseries from IDW, and one of the things I never really knew, if you go to the back of this book, in the back, look at these crossovers.
Oh, I was looking at that earlier too. I noticed that. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, there's what we have. We have Vampirella, Army of Darkness, Hack and Slash. You read Hack and Slash?
No, I've never read Hack and Slash.
You'd really enjoy that. I have those books. I'll take you more.
Is it good? I don't even know what it's about.
That's the other comic we will read.
Okay,
yeah, it's really cool. It's a final girl, her and the original, like her killer, basically team up and travel to the United States hunting down monsters and serial killers and stuff.
Really?
Very interesting.
That is interesting. Okay. That's an intriguing premise.
Danger Girl. Never heard of that.
No.
Looks like there's a bunch of Army of Darkness. Ash in Space. Furious Road.
Ash in Space. There it was. I was looking for it. It's like, did I really see that earlier? Sure as fuck. Ash in Space.
That is the ultimate fate of any horror franchise, is you eventually
gotta go to space.
Go to space.
See, Alien did it right. They just went straight to space. They were like, yeah, no fucking around here. We know where we're going.
The middle, man.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get to a jelly in space here at some point.
Oh yeah,
Michael loved that idea.
He will. Yeah, he's very encouraging about that idea.
He loves that franchise. He's very supportive of that becoming a franchise at some point. You have Kiss and Army of Darkness, which Kiss. Those guys, I'm not the hugest Kiss fan, but man, Gene Simmons know how to market. There is not a damn property you can find that doesn't have some sort of Kiss tie-in.
Yeah, hey, there you go. They do marketing well.
Oh yeah, they know how to get their name out there.
They have an image, and it's out there.
It sells. It sells.
It sells.
For what it's worth, it sells.
Yeah.
But this right here, one of the cool things I thought about this. So we're going to start with, of course, issue 1, which is titled "A Little Less Conversation, a Little More Ash."
Oh, I love it. Jesus, I love it.
I knew you would. I knew you would.
I knew you would. But I could just feel Ben's conniption growing as it goes.
Yep.
Oh, I wish he was here. My God, he'd have a hernia every time we bring these up. It's great.
There's a lot of stuff in this book that I'm sure would a lot of dialogue that he probably wouldn't be too good a fan of. One of the cool things I found though is it opens up and we get kind of like one of those tease of things to come that jumps back.
Yeah,
it kind of brings back. One of the things I noticed though is right off the bat, if you look on your page, you'll see like, yeah, I know how this looks. This little chainsaw hand, chainsaw. And then all the other blurbs or narration are chainsaws. But later in the book, it switches perspectives to Elvis.
I noticed,
and you can notice that if you go to issue 3, you'll notice the narration bubbles change.
Now, what do they become that signifies? Because I didn't even
the little like Elvis suit.
That's what that is. Okay. Yeah. Because I noticed it's like, okay, now there's a difference. There's like buttons or something on it. Amazing.
Right. So that's a signal or change of perspective. So anytime we see the little chainsaw blades, that's Ash talking.
Ash's narration.
And then we have Elvis's narration.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty damn clever.
Wow. Me too. Well, you can't do that in movies.
You can't.
That's
you can't.
cool.
Well, I'm sure it would just been voices at that point. But they do some cool stuff in this comic. I'll get to here in just a couple pages. There's a really cool effect I liked in this. But
okay.
So this opens with Ash cruising the plains of East Texas, and of course the Delta. And he is on a mission. He is going to go see his idol, who he has somehow acquired a newspaper article that states, "Elvis lives. Retired king of rock fights mummy in Texas. The truth unraveled." And this, of course, brings him to a place we're
a little familiar with.
We're familiar with. That is the Mud Creek Shady Rest, the retirement home from Bubba Hotep. So,
such a lovely place.
Although the character is from the book, the Elvis character is from the novel. I do notice we get our black nurse from the movie.
Yeah.
She is present. So kind of I'm sure just a nod for
A little bit of a cameo.
the fans of the film. Yeah, I noticed she's here. So Ash is there hunting for Elvis at the retirement home. He tells the nurse, I cannot remember her name. I knew we mentioned it at some point in the movie.
I can't remember. I just keep hearing Nurse Ratchet, and I know that's not it.
Yeah, that's not it.
It's not.
But she tells Bruce that Elvis is not there. And that's when he's approached by a woman who lets him know that he's somewhere else. But what we get here is a really cool little effect. We get the POV thing, and they do it. Did you see this on page? Was it just page 3? They did a really good job of like showing that's happening.
I know. That's so good. I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to. I didn't want to miss that. It's the evil like POV. They're doing like some sort of like blurry like going around. Yeah,
they even have the words. They even have it. That's what it is.
Yeah, just
it's the
like it does. Yep. See, I can read comic book just fine. This is great.
And this is, of course, our Evil Dead POV. Our Evil Dead POV, and it plows into the grave of Sebastian
Half.
We all know who Sebastian Half is. He is supposedly the man who assumed the identity of Elvis.
Yes.
That's the conspiracy. Is that Elvis that died was not the Elvis that lived. It was instead this impersonator. And Elvis kind of like slunk out to enjoy a normal life.
Yep,
well, this guy
live his life.
Carried on and partied himself to death.
Yeah.
So that's the idea behind that. If you don't know who Sebastian Half is, now if only we had a podcast that covered conspiracies, maybe we could talk about that a little more.
Yeah, maybe you should really get on that, Ty.
I'll have to see what we can do. Yeah, now this confused me though. So it cracks into the grave of Sebastian Half, right?
Yes.
Now Sebastian Half is supposedly the Elvis Presley who died in real life. Wouldn't that be Elvis's grave? But Sebastian Half that we know is the actual Elvis who's still alive.
Right. So
who's this in this grave of Sebastian Half?
Yeah, okay. I was kind of hoping you could help me out with that.
I know I'm confused. I don't know what I don't know.
Well, didn't Elvis die at the end of Bubba Hotep?
He did in the movie.
But
maybe he did in this. Maybe they buried. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they buried Bubba Hotep in the grave
under the name of Sebastian Half.
Yeah, because maybe that's why the nurse doesn't know that Sebastian's there, or tells him that Sebastian's not there because maybe Sebastian, to her knowledge, died.
Right.
And that would also explain why this thing's wearing an Elvis suit.
Yes, and why it wants it so. But yep. Why it goes back and grabs the Elvis suit.
I think we figured it out. So
maybe we have, but then does that?
So this is where Ash. What's that?
Does that make? Because then we meet Elvis. I'm so confused, Ty. Let's continue.
Well,
maybe we'll work.
We meet our real Elvis.
Yes.
The old man Elvis that we know from the movie.
In a little hideaway.
Yep.
The passcode
things pretty much move at a really breakneck speed in this whole thing. Like, it's not
kidding.
There's not really a lot of like downtime in this book. So it's like action scene after action scene. Like here we get a really cool display of Elvis's martial arts. So the weird thing is Ash gets brought to this place. He finds Elvis, and Elvis knows who Ash is.
Oh yeah.
Now, what ensues after that is a karate trivia matchup.
It's like, oh my gosh, couldn't you just ask questions? Why are we also fighting?
Yeah,
of course.
So the thing about this Elvis that was not translated into the film version is this version of Elvis is a very skilled martial artist.
Yes, he's skilled.
Very skilled. Despite his age, he is still.
He flies through the air with the greatest
very
ease.
maneuverable, yeah.
Yeah.
Very skilled. And he and Ash have a little square off where Ash also shows he's pretty agile as well. He blocks all of his punches and kicks and stuff, jumping around.
Yep.
And then all this is interrupted by the Deadite.
Yes.
Who we assume is Bubba Hotep. in the
Right.
original movie. Who Elvis tells Ash earlier, he disposed of him,
Mm-hmm.
and here he is back. Now he's killed like the security guard and everything. It was all the security guards in this movie die, or in this book die.
Right. They're like red shirts.
It's a constant death of security guards in this. And one of the lines like about this, so we have kind of this square off between Elvis, who we find out is also wearing a gi underneath his robe.
Yes, just like tears it off, and he's like, "Hiya! I am a ninja."
And now there's a few Easter eggs I really like to point out in this. I'll point them out here as we go. If you look on his gi, we have the Purple Heart.
Oh, that's great. That's from the movie.
Yep. From the movie. From I forget his name. His roommate.
His roommate. Yep, the poor guy that died screaming.
Yep. So we got that. That's a little nod to the.
He's carrying on the legacy. Man,
yep.
Oh, that's so great. That is,
and he does that in the movie too. At the end, when he's getting ready to go into battle,
it's part of what he puts on for battle.
Yeah, he dons that. There's a line I like in here too. While Ash is squaring off with the Deadite Bubba Hotep, the Deadite says, "I'll suck your soul."
Yeah,
and Ash says, "Swallow, suck. What's the difference?"
Yep,
I like that. Because we all know the Deadite line of "I'll swallow your soul."
Yeah.
Now, what happens after this is the Deadite Bubba Hotep grabs the iconic Elvis suit.
Yes.
Which he calls his Pharaoh suit. That's what Elvis refers to it as.
Yeah. Which is that true to life? I wondered.
It must be.
Really
So I know like this Elvis is everything else seems pretty intentional and pretty true to the way Elvis does things. So I assume if he's calling it his Pharaoh suit, that must be the nickname of that suit.
Okay. Well, yeah, sounds right to me. I'm not as up on my Elvis history here. Just what I'm not either.
I'm trusting what this comic book is telling me.
Yeah,
that's where I'm basing all my knowledge of the events in this. Is to me, all this stuff actually happened.
Yeah, right.
To my knowledge,
yeah,
everything in this book is this is a true story.
This is a history here. Yeah, a biopic, if you will.
A biopic. Yeah, this is a biopic.
More truthful than a biopic, even.
Yeah. It's a comic book. You can't just print that stuff out. It's not true.
There's pictures as evidence. A picture speaks words. 1,000 words.
And the words are on the page.
Yeah. It's right there in black and white and green.
No, he gets the suit and then he jumps through a portal, which then sucks in Ash as well. And we get the whole time travel thing, kind of reminiscent of what we see in Evil Dead. And then Ash comes crashing to the ground, and he wakes up in Las Vegas. And that concludes issue 1 of the miniseries.
What a freaking beginning! That was the first little issue, and it's like all that is just in such a short span of time, as far as like just going. Like you said, you made it through like the whole thing in one sitting.
Yeah,
that was just
I ran through it in one sitting.
Yeah. Ash is driving, and then he's karate triviaing Elvis, and then a Deadite shows up, and then we're through a portal.
Through a portal, he ends up in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Now, issue 2 is, I love the cover. My favorite one is coming up, my favorite cover so far. But yeah, this issue is Muertos Las Vegas.
Muertos Las Vegas.
And one thing I like about this book, too, is it jumps around pretty good, too. In the first issue, we're in East Texas, of course.
Where it all began.
We have the nursing home. And issue 2 brings us all the way to Nevada, where we're in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So this is where we're kind of introduced the concept of the Necronomicon Hotep. Clever name.
Very clever. Somebody was thinking for a long period of time on that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and you can tell by looking at the narration bubbles. We're still in Ash's perspective.
Yes.
Yep. Chainsaws.
And Elvis is having a Egyptian extravaganza. So in this timeline, somewhere along this timeline, Elvis, maybe Elvis did have like a big thing for Egyptian. I mean, he's calling his suit the Pharaoh suit.
Yeah, maybe he
must have had a big thing for.
Which could have inspired the story.
Yeah.
In general. I will look into that low key on the side here.
Yeah. So Elvis is having this big Egyptian showcase at his performance here in Las Vegas. We get to see Ash actually don the iconic Pharaoh suit, which is a pretty cool visual.
Yeah.
And he encounters a past version of Elvis because we've now time jumped back to Elvis's heyday, I assume.
Right.
And then we have a much younger,
He's a younger
Elvis that we're
man.
now dealing with.
Yeah.
It's not the old man Elvis. This is what we know. Heyday Elvis before he switched places with Sebastian Haff.
Yes.
So this also introduces us to the idea of the Egyptian Book of the Dead.
Right.
Which we had been dealing with the Sumerian one, I believe is what it's called in the
movie.
In the movie, that's Sumerian or Kandarian.
No, I think that one's
Kandarian.
I think that one's from Evil Dead. It's
yes,
Kandarian dagger, right?
Yeah.
Oh, which then that's what Necronomicon is, right? I
believe so.
Yes. Yeah.
And this right here introduces us to the idea of the Egyptian Book of the Dead,
right?
Which I don't think we've seen yet. Right? This is a whole new.
It's new to me. I've never heard of the Necronomicon Hotep before.
Right. This is all new to us. The Necronomicon Hotep, which we find out the Deadite in particular, that Elvis Deadite, the Bubba Hotep Deadite, which I thought was a cool idea to make Bubba Hotep a Deadite.
Yeah,
I mean, it made sense. He's been a mummy. I mean, he's undead.
Yep. So may as well undead the undead thing.
Yeah. By way of the Necronomicon Hotep, I guess.
Right.
So we get a lot of Ash and Elvis fighting Deadites here in Las Vegas.
Yep.
Which is pretty good. We get a pretty nice history of the Necronomicon Hotep, which is in Elvis' perspective. Elvis kind of gives him a rundown on the book, which is an ancient Egyptian book of souls that will give whoever possesses it command over the dead. As the story goes, Hotep used the blood of his enemies to fill it with etchings on the tablet, stealing their life force, transferring it into the Necronomicon.
Ugh, there is
it's very similar to the Necronomicon that we know, except it's in Egyptian writing.
Inked in blood.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
which is like chiseled in the blood.
Yeah. They like drained the blood into it while they were chiseling away.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a neat way to bring these two worlds together.
Right.
For as different as they are, it is two heroes that deal with undead entities in some manner. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty clever way to expand on the Necronomicon.
I agree, and it does kind of add to the lore of it. Like, okay, there's certain ways to deal with these forces, and you're just going to have to murder some people and use their blood if you want to get any sort of power over them with our power books. It's just now we know how to make this sort of thing. We could make our own. It could be a
it's a very good step by step. You find enemies, you drain their blood, you use that blood to write down some stuff.
All the pieces are there. We could have our very own cult.
Why haven't we made a Necronomicon?
Why not? Exactly. I think we should get on this.
We could drain them. We could have our own Necronomicon.
There we go. I don't see anything wrong with this plan.
No, I don't know. I think if anything, we'll just the book told us to do it. So.
Yeah.
We read a comic book. It's worked before.
Right. It has. Media poisons our brains and makes us do horrific shit.
The old Scream 2 argument. The Scream 2 defense will take.
The Scream 2 defense. I've never heard it called that. I feel like I know exactly what you're talking about, though. It's like, oh no, the movie made us do it. It influenced our feeble minds.
Exactly.
Those in video games of the devil.
No, they are. I don't play enough video games. I play weird stuff on my phone. I don't play anything too violent, I guess.
I don't play a lot of video games these days myself. At least not a variety.
We're old.
We're old.
We podcast too damn much.
I know.
I feel like sometimes I'm not watching anything unless I have to record it.
I know. Movies have become work.
Now books are work.
Now books are work. What are we going to have left? Ty? Outside? That's ridiculous.
Yes, we're going to figure out these old ancient ways to entertain ourselves.
I know. Like, there's something people used to do with balls and sticks or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll make a podcast of it.
Yeah, there we go. No, wait, no. I'm just like, yes. Yes, add to the repertoire.
Content. Need more content.
Like
You
and
gotta feed the
subscribe.
machine.
Gotta feed the
Gotta-
machine, just like we had to
Yep.
feed these tablets some blood.
Yes. And Elvis and Bruce, or I keep on calling Bruce. Elvis and
know.
Ash. It's
So
just Bruce is so synonymous with Ash.
Yeah.
To me, they're the same basic character.
I do that all the time too.
So Elvis and Ash get the Necronomicon Hotep from Bubba Hotep and his mummy army that he resurrected from Elvis's Egypt display, his Egypt showcase.
They were gonna have like a ribbon cutting for this place where all his mummies are.
And Ash tells Elvis, we have to get the Necronomicon somewhere safe.
Yeah.
Do you know a place? And Elvis's idea is Graceland. So they're going to have to take a plane to Graceland, which I believe is in Tennessee, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Stand by.
Stand by. Well, they're boarding a plane. I like that. I didn't notice this before, but Ash is wearing a cool blue Pharaoh suit, which I thought was pretty neat. But he quickly dons back into the vintage, iconic Ash outfit, including one of the sleeves ripped off for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason. It isn't Tennessee, by the way.
just to keep with it. I mean, I believe we first saw that in Evil Dead 2.
Was it 2? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's Evil Dead 2 where he gets his sleeve ripped off the first time. And then, that
kept it that way for Army of Darkness too, probably, if I remember correctly.
Yep. Yeah. So they board their plane. They're heading to Graceland. And I believe at this point, doesn't Ash somehow, he ingests what they call the little blue pills or something?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're just, he wants something a little stronger than what he's got to drink there. So Elvis tosses him some pills, and Ash has some, more than Elvis thought he did, too. Once he by the time he checked on him, he's like, oh, boy. What's the, oh, well. I remember him just like checking it, like, oh God, that's
it's Colonel. Just how I know this is the novel version is because they keep mentioning that Colonel, which is an actual guy. It's forget his name, Colonel something or other. He was actually like Elvis's road hand, his manager.
Gotcha.
And there is a sequel novel to Bubba Hotep called Bubba Hotep and She Vampires or something like that. Curse of She Vampires.
Listen here, you she vampire.
Exactly. Yeah, very much one of those.
Him saying that.
Which that's the tone of those novels. It's very like campy, action oriented. Like it's a lot different than what the movie does. The movie kind of takes it down to a existential.
Yeah, made it very thoughtful and pondered on like what it was to be towards the end of your life and have your legacy to look back on or lack thereof. Very deep, meaningful stuff.
Yeah, very deep. Which I assume that's not. From what I understand, that's not
so much
the way
the
books go. The books are much more just gratuitous and fun. And
hey, I'm Elvis. I'm fighting a mummy and now a she vamp.
Right.
I'm here for it. We
nailed it.
Maybe we could review that book sometime too.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
We've talked about it many times. I know we talked about that, I believe, all the way back on the original Bubba Hotep episode, which was our second episode ever.
Yeah.
We talked about it. So
God, that was so far back in the beginning. Yeah.
Oh, that was.
But I really did. There was a craving for more Bubba Hotep that I had, but it's a tough spot because it's like I also don't want a sequel to that movie. It was just perfect as it was.
I would not want one at all. I know for a long time there was talks of a sequel that was going to be no one involved, and it was going to be Paul Giamatti as whoever this Colonel guy is.
Oh, okay.
And I believe Ron Perlman as Elvis.
Really? Ron Perlman?
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah. I believe the She Vampires thing is a prequel, which to do a prequel to Bubba Hotep, the movie, would ruin it because
it wouldn't make sense.
That's not our character never references like that time I shot those she vampires or this mummy's not so bad. You fought monsters all the time, nothing like that. So it would have been very out of vein. I feel like to did a prequel or even a sequel to that, because I kind of like the idea of in that movie our Elvis kind of doing something heroic and checking out on that note.
Yeah, and that's how he goes out. Right. Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
So they get on this plane. Ash has a little too much of the little Colonel Blue pills, and we find out just as this issue closes that Bubba Hotep is on board the plane and has killed the pilot.
Yep.
And this brings us into our third issue, which is Can't Help Falling in Midair at 20,000 feet.
I love
long
it
title.
so much.
Long title.
It is.
Long title.
Worth it. Because I can't help falling in midair 20,000 feet. And this cover art, man, it's so funny.
What's that?
Oh, sorry. I'm just going on. Every time I'm going to go, this cover art, it's great. Yeah, so go on.
Oh, it is. It's badass. And like, there's a couple of things I noted earlier. Like there's in this issue too, there was a pretty cool little nod. 'Cause I know he's been doing it for a while. I don't know that much about Elvis's discography. I've only heard a few songs. That's mainly all the knowledge I have for Elvis and his discography comes from 3,000 miles or 30,000 miles of Graceland.
Oh,
that really bad Kurt Russell movie. Have you ever seen it?
I can't say I have. I've heard of it.
It's bad, but it's great. It's so fun. People really hate that movie. Like hate it. I actually really enjoy it. But what's new? But that's all I know about Elvis, really.
Right.
And bits here and there I've seen in movies, and of course Bubba Hotep. But I like there's a line in this issue where Ash and Elvis, past Elvis, first meet up, and Ash is trying to, tell him, hey, I'm here to help you. There's something going on. And he's like telling him, hey, I'm one of the good guys. And Elvis's line is, for all I know, you're the devil in disguise.
Yep.
And I know that's an Elvis song because I heard it in Godzilla. So
nice. See, you're up on Elvis.
I'm getting there. Yeah. I just piece things throughout these monster movies and really bad action movies, and eventually I'll get a pretty clear picture of what Elvis's legacy really was.
Right. Yeah. Through the bits and pieces that have affected and spread through the rest of our pop culture.
Right.
As things do.
As they do. And this right here, this is the introduction of Elvis's dialogue, because we had his perspective a little earlier back in the second chapter, where he was kind of explaining what a Necronomicon Bubba Hotep was, or Necronomicon Hotep was. But this is where the story shifts his perspective. The issue opens with him kind of giving his rundown on the events that have happened, where he's talking about this guy named Ash, he's a time traveler, and kind of giving his, putting the story in his perspective of what actually is going on.
What he thinks of Ash and, so forth. Kind of like, okay, this crazy guy. Even like the framing of Ash, like now he's got this ridiculous, whereas before, even after Ash had taken, all those pills, he looked relatively normal, but now his face is kind of like,
Right.
At least in the first panel, his eyes are all squinted shut, and he's just got this very strange smile on his face. Like,
he does.
he now looks like he has taken pills and alcohol.
And Elvis talking about this dream, this vision he's been having.
Oh yeah, what was that?
And that's where it cuts this thing. I don't know if this is a reference to like something in that the novels, or if this is
like some of the other of these comics.
Yeah, I don't know if there's more IDW Bubba Hotep comics, but he references this vision he's had about leading a ragtag team on a mission, on a suicide mission, fighting all kinds of creepy stuff. And it shows this panel of Elvis, the Colonel, some woman, and a big black guy with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
And they're fighting all these demons. And that's all it is. It's never referenced again. Yeah, I don't know what that's a reference to.
No idea.
It kind of stopped me there for a minute. It's a really cool visual, whatever it is, but
yeah, it's got to be a reference to some either other Army of Darkness books or another Bubba Hotep thing. It's got it has all the feeling of a reference. Yeah,
right. Like it's something that we should know, or
Yeah.
It's like it seems like a wink and a nod to the audience, like that thing,
And
so
honestly,
I don't know what that's from.
This right here, Ty, is one of the things that I never could get into comics because of stuff like this. There's so many of them now. It's really hard to jump into. Usually when it's like mainstream comics.
That's the problem with all these Marvel movies now.
Right? I guess they are creating the same problem again now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
I tapped out on
that reference.
I tapped out on MCU after
Endgame. That's when I stopped too. It's like, all right, they've done a cohesive story. They're going to try to keep going for money. That sounds cynical. It's always been for money, but now for money instead of a story too.
I know. I hate when people do that. Like it's some profound concept they figured out.
Just for the art of it.
It's all for money.
Yeah. It's like,
now you're doing this whole thing for the money the whole time?
What? Art takes money, hard facts, whatever. But like they had told the story. If you're not
making it, why are you doing it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like for instance, us, we're just rolling the cash from podcast. That's our reasoning.
Definitely rolling in the cash.
I'm up to my chin in it, and I don't know what to do with it all.
I know, seriously. So, please, dear God, like and subscribe.
Feed us more money. We can't get enough. We're so greedy.
Enough of the money.
We're greedy assholes. We just want more money.
Yes.
We're swimming in it.
So anyway, Marvel was great up until Endgame, and art costs money.
Yeah. I did watch Doctor Strange too, just because of the main reason I would watch it. It's got Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell, so I watched that. That was pretty much it.
Was it okay?
I liked it. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. There's some shocking stuff in it, like it was like had like some pretty gory things in it. I was kind of surprised.
You got to do some Raimi stuff.
Yeah, there was some cool Raimi stuff. I mean, it was neat. Definitely some Evil Dead references throughout it, Necronomicon stuff. I mean, it was wild. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's a Marvel Phase 15 movie or whatever. So I mean, you know what you're getting into. But I mean,
just have that expectation going in, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of understood what was going on, but not really because I didn't watch the 12 movies before it.
Right.
But I got a kind of an idea of what was going on. I got to see Bruce Campbell in an MCU movie. That was neat. So.
Yeah. Good for Bruce. Cool. Yeah.
It was cool.
He can lay claim to that.
Yeah, he gets the stinger at the end of the movie. The
cool.
Post-credit stinger. So
hey, there you go.
Yeah, he does Bruce stuff, like Evil Dead Bruce stuff, where he's like, the body when the him interacting with himself thing.
Oh yeah? Okay.
He fights himself.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
So, it's cool.
So all right.
But in the same page here, we get this very confusing panel. There's also a change in the art style briefly, which we see a little later on, where it changes to this Andy Warhol pop art looking.
Thank you. I couldn't put my finger on it. That is very Andy Warhol. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's
very
like the
pop
dots
art with the dots. Yeah.
Yeah, pop art. That's the word.
I remember that semester at
of high school.
So.
Yeah.
Yep. And we also get our what the fuck are those beetles called?
Oh, scarabs.
Yeah, the scarabs make their appearance here.
Yeah.
They're on the plane. Elvis has to smash them.
Yeah.
And
more than that, he's karate fighting them.
He nunchucks them.
Jesus,
yeah, he nunchucks them.
It is great. And like you could see like these Bruce Lee moves in the panels as he's just smash, splash. And then he's got the freaking nunchucks. He's kicking these bugs ass. He did not have such an easy time in the movie. This is a younger Elvis for sure. Took a great big dangerous looking fork and a long struggle just to kill one. But anyway.
So and then Bubba Hotep reveals himself. I'm just gonna call this guy Bubba Hotep because I assume that's what
it seems to be. Yeah, Deadite Bubba Hotep. Yeah.
Yeah, I assume that's what we got here. Then we also get another shot of this Andy Warhol, and this is a cool panel. I actually this is a kind of panel I would have as like a print.
Yeah,
I'd probably get this page printed out and like paint on my wall.
Yeah,
because it's kind of like Ash is. I'm assuming having like a trip.
Yeah,
which I'm surprised that they didn't drag it out to a couple pages or maybe like a full spread. A 2-pager.
Right.
but it's one page. We see like Ash working at S-Mart, which they actually use S-Mart in this, which is cool.
Oh, yeah. Got the
You know,
S-Mart
shop
right
smart,
back.
shop S-Mart. It's
Yeah.
not was it whatever it was in Evil Dead.
I can't remember.
I forget what they called it, Price Mart or something
Price
like that.
Mart or
Whatever.
something. Yeah.
I might be thinking of that 70s show.
Yeah.
I've been watching that 70s show. But. So yeah, we get like him working at S-Mart, him killing his evil self. You know, we get the good bad. I'm the guy with the gun line.
Yep.
Give me some sugar. I think this is just
It's like flashbacks.
the ending of Army of Darkness. This is Army of Darkness.
Oh, it is all Army of Darkness. You're right. Yeah, because then he's got a cape on it from when he's in medieval times still. Yeah.
Yep. Him launching the catapult, him kissing the girl at the very end.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just Army of Darkness, which I guess makes sense because it says Army of Darkness, Bubba Hotep. So
right.
It makes sense. He's fighting the scarabs. The scarabs transform into little monsters, don't they? Or I'm mistaken by that because I know Ash comes out of his little trip, and we see a pretty gnarly like Pharaoh type.
Yeah.
Deadeye. I don't know if it's Bubba Hotep or what.
It's
but
still the Bubba Hotep one, kind of, because then he starts getting the bugs thrown at him by Elvis.
These big critter things. These like monster things.
Yeah. I guess they see
kind of xenomorph looking things. Yeah.
Yeah. Things start like escalating. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, that must be them just like
he might be still tripping.
More.
He might be like.
Yeah, that's kind of where I start getting unclear. Like and I get this unclear with like Evil Dead movies in general. Like, with the cabin and stuff, it's like what is psychological and what is like physical.
Yeah. So I assume he's still tripping because it shows these monsters, but then on the next page he's just fighting scarabs.
Yeah, and like honestly, there's this panel where Bubba Hotep now looks all like fucking crazy and demonic.
Yeah, it looks more big, like Pharaoh type thing.
So and you know what? Every time we see Ash's eyes, they're still pretty fucked. So
the collars have kind of changed. They're kind of inverted looking. Like, So I think this is Ash kind of seeing things through his tripped out mind. Still, I don't think he's quite came out of it yet.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Elvis even looks different to him too. Elvis looks like a. Elvis is wearing the gi.
Oh, he's like a ninja. Yeah, he's a ninja.
But then we cut back and he's not wearing that. So, okay. I think you caught on. I think you caught it. There
we go.
It's still Ash tripping.
Now, this is we think that Elvis is going to get killed by Bubba Hotep. It seems like he's getting kind of beat down. And Elvis kind of gives a line. He's like, I've been thinking about hanging it up and could use a guy like you who knows how to handle himself. And Ash has he's thinking to himself, he says, I turned down the chance to be king once, but when opportunity knocks twice, and he has this little
chibi
fantasy, this little chibi. That's what it is, little chibi of him as Elvis with a crown on.
Yeah.
But Elvis kills it by saying, of course, you'd have to get some work done, shave an inch or two off that chin of yours if we're to convince anyone. And Ash says, whoa, now hang on a second. Nobody touched the chin. And he dispatches the Deadite pilot. Yep. Elvis fights Bubba Hotep. They kick open the door of the plane, and the plane goes in a tailspin. Elvis and Ash kind of get sucked out. And the plane crashes. We have... they ride the plane, don't they? They ride it down, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they ride it down into Graceland.
Somebody's hanging on to a foot and says to be continued. Is that?
Oh, that's Elvis. Yeah,
that's Elvis,
says he gives out. He says TBC, baby. Ash says, "Don't you mean TCB? To be continued."
Yeah, which I don't know what TCB is supposed to be.
Taking care of business.
Oh, okay. So not exactly.
That's Elvis thing. I know that's a Elvis thing.
Yeah,
TCB, baby. So they crash into Graceland.
Yeah.
And this is my favorite cover.
Oh,
the cover for an American Trilogy, because also Elvis looks a lot like Bruce in this one. This is the first cover where it looks like Bruce Bubba Hotep.
You're right. He does look much more like him there. And
this is the old man Bubba Hotep too.
Yeah, he's got the tummy. He's got the tummy and the gray hair. And he's just like, he looks so happy, and Ash looks very uncomfortable. I love it. Oh my God.
And this is issue 4,
issue 4.
An American Trilogy.
An American Trilogy. And that's a reference to a song too, I would imagine. An American
I would assume.
Trilogy, perhaps.
That's what I'm thinking. American Trilogy.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
I don't know enough about the Bubba Hotep. I don't know about Elvis yet. So
yeah, right. Yeah.
So the plane has crashed into Graceland, utterly obliterating Graceland. So everybody in this thing is dead, I presume. Butlers, house guests.
Yeah.
All dead because they crashed a plane into it. And now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Is Elvis dead?
Is he? That is such a good question. I'm not sure, really, because it's kind of like, wait,
he never pops back up like that version, but we get old man
Elvis. Yeah,
Elvis back.
Kind of moves some wreckage. He's like, "Hang on, Elvis, I'll free you in a jiff." So this deadite that pops up that's not Elvis, is it? That's not the right clothing.
No, that's that big thing. I'm not sure if that's
that kind of a curl to the hair.
If that's Elvis, if that thing we find is Elvis, because we also have Ash is kind of stumbling from the wreckage, and he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out the newspaper clipping they had.
Yeah,
where he said Elvis lives, and it no longer says that, and he even says, "Where's the part about Elvis living?" And then, "Hang on, Elvis, I'll get you free in a jiff." Moves it. And I believe that's dead Elvis.
I think that's dead Elvis. Yeah, he's looking at him saying, no way you survived. It's just, yeah. I think this Elvis became a deadite.
Right, and he's getting ready to kill, or I guess, assuredly kill Elvis, put a bullet in him. And that's when we get this big guy comes smashing through. And I was like, who the hell is this? He says, "You're a big boy, ain't you?" But luckily, there's an editor note at the bottom of the next page. That is Sebastian Half. This big thing that comes through. This big guy comes out. So he was sleeping in Graceland when they crashed. They killed him, and he came back.
Oh my gosh!
And he even says, like, he calls him like, "Hey, you, the piss poor man's excuse for an Elvis wannabe never was." And we have a editor's note. Sebastian Half was the Elvis impersonator who died before the king could return to the throne, from Joe R. Lansdale's Bubba Hotep.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
So I hadn't picked up on it this time around. It's
kind of wild. This whole last chapter is pretty wild.
Yeah, it's nuts. And again, like, I'll reiterate, I have a hard time like contextualizing comics.
Yes,
I do. It's not my natural state of consuming content. Doing the best I can.
Bubba Hotep, he kills that guy, and Bubba Hotep comes back, and Bubba Hotep actually gets the chainsaw. Actually, has Bruce's chainsaw.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
That was a cool shot too. Of I call it a shot, a cool frame where he's like holding his robot arm up, and it's he's holding off the chainsaw.
Yep. Yeah, because he does have cool. the metal glove from Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
So he's keeping the blade from getting to him, and then he's saved when because Sebastian Half also comes back at this point. I think the body of Sebastian Half comes back. It isn't fully dead, but he's saved when the Delta comes bursting into the house and kills Sebastian Half.
Yeah,
gets out, and then this is a cool little Easter egg as well. If you look on Elvis's face, he's got Kemosabe's mask on.
Yes, I did notice that.
Yeah, what a cool little nods.
They had a lot of love for the movie, that's for sure. The people that made this,
and his first line. So Elvis has entered the building. Ash says, "Holy Elvis, is that really you?" And his line is, "Does Cleopatra do the nasty?" A reference to JFK from the movie.
Yes.
We get it all here.
I know. I think they referenced JFK earlier too.
I think so. Yeah.
One other time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's great. So he also referenced the lump on it.
The lump on his Johnson.
Any bigger than the lump on my Johnson.
It's my favorite one. Finish what I started. I think is also from there.
I think so. Yep. Then we get we get Elvis versus Bubba Hotep squared off again. This time with Bruce helping him out. And this is pretty nice. Like it's a really cool visual because we have like the Sebastian Half character who's just this big flaming blob who's also here, and we also get that pharaoh looking thing.
Yeah, who steps out?
Yeah.
And is that like supposed to be like?
I think that might be like the main
Bubba Hotep's final form,
possibly,
or something like that.
Well, he kills Bubba Hotep, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
This must be like the big bad of whatever the Necronomicon Hotep.
Right.
Is supposed to.
Yeah.
I guess it'd be like the pharaoh, whoever the pharaoh was. Well, that was Bubba Hotep.
That started writing that. You're right. Yeah, it was. So, yeah.
So we get that square off, and Ash uses the Necronomicon.
Hotep.
And we also have a cool thing of like all the souls getting released from the book.
I thought that was cool. Like all.
If you look, you see Kemosabe in there.
Really? Oh, I didn't think to look for that detail.
I only see him. Yeah, he says, "Hey, Kemosabe."
Yeah.
So he releases all the souls, which I assume are the souls that Bubba Hotep had consumed. So we see Kemosabe.
Him. Yeah. He's got his hat.
Yeah, he says these poor lost souls may now be at rest. Their long suffering days finally come to an end. So release all the souls, and then we have Ash and Elvis get to ride off. They're heading north.
And Elvis Lives is back on the note, the paper printout that he had.
Yep. And so I assume what it is, and now if I'm trying to make sense of everything that happened here, I assume that this is probably just how Elvis died in this timeline. Is that explosion at Graceland? A plane hits Graceland, kills Elvis. Right. I assume is what that's probably like how he died in that universe.
Right.
So we still have the Elvis still living.
Right. So it was okay. So then it was kind of like this was the Elvis from Bubba Hotep showing up at the end.
I don't know. Also, if you look here at the bottom, the last panel it says, "Hey man, I got to ask, how do you survive getting sucked out of your jet? That's a long story. We got a lot of miles ahead of us. I got time. All right, but don't say I didn't warn you." So as I recall it, I were on the jet when all of a sudden the engine caught ablaze and that damn mummy is still hanging on for dear life. Is that? I guess that's still the same Elvis.
Oh my gosh,
I'm so confused.
Wow, he survived somehow through.
But that's this is the old Elvis.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I don't know.
So confused.
Once we start throwing time travel into this stuff, my comprehension goes a little out.
I might have to reread this again at some point. But
because this is wild. Like we're getting Elvises from different time periods and
it literally just kicks off from like page 2 and it just does not stop. There's no downtime.
No, there's not a lot of breathing room.
That was our big team up of Ash and Bubba Hotep, or Ash and Elvis.
Yeah.
I think we should talk about our next segment here. Let's talk about the quality of Campbell here in our next segment.
All right.
Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
All right. So that was the big comic adventure of Ash and Elvis. I feel like it's every Bruce fan dream team up. We see Bruce interact with himself all the time. I would love to see Ash interact with Elvis on the screen.
Yes, that would be a lot of fun.
So, what do you think of this? The cool thing about this book is we had all the additional covers. What do you think of those?
Oh, I thought those were really cool. They added a lot of to the relationship between these two characters that we didn't really have time for in the comic, it seems like, because it's just like we were talking about the pace. It's just breakneck. Even as they're getting to know each other, they're competing over trivia and punching each other. You know what I mean? Right, and then we're going along and then they're hopping on a plane and taking drugs. And, so it's never, but then in these, these covers are beautiful and it does give us just a chance to look at
they are
the expression on their face that they have.
They're wonderful. There's several of these I would love to have as just prints. I like the Robert Hack cover of issue 1 with the guitar and the shotgun. I like that a lot, and I also really enjoy the alternate cover for issue 2 by Robert Hack as well. It's the VHS inspired cover.
Yep.
I really
Go
like that
Robert
one.
Hack.
Also, I like the alternate cover of issue 3, also by Robert Hack, the double feature. And I really like the alternate cover for issue 4, also by Robert Hack.
Robert Hack. Who
The Deadite romance one. I guess I really like his art. Because those are all the ones that stuck out to me. I was like, that guy, these are really cool covers.
Yeah.
So
I like the one.
I like his alternate covers.
Yeah, you really do. Hey, there you go.
All 4 of them.
You like your hack.
I do.
I'll give Diego a shout out though. I really like the cover where they're hovering above all the bugs, and Bubba Hotep and Ash are like leaping into the air, kind of like parallel poses. That's fun.
That's a good one.
It's goofy.
Yeah, these are fun. These are fun covers.
Yeah, this definitely had to be fun to make. I think there's just a lot of wackiness going on with it. I would love to see these two on screen together.
I would too. It'd be so fun to see. I just wonder how our movie Bubba Hotep would do with Ash as we know him.
Yeah,
I feel like maybe this novel iteration of Elvis is probably the best way to interact with him.
Right. Yeah,
because it seemed like for what it was, kind of odd to say about, but it seemed like that Elvis was a little more grounded than what we probably would have. Yeah. All things considered.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I feel like it was a lot more grounded than putting into the Army of Darkness world. As grounded as Elvis fighting a mummy can be, I guess.
Yeah, right. The bar's there. Whether it's too high or low, I couldn't say, but it's there. I like it too because it doesn't that perspective doesn't ruin the lore of the movie any. What I mean? It's like, how would a younger Elvis?
I almost feel like there maybe wasn't enough. I'm pretty sure they had it set as all this is a 4-issue miniseries. I almost feel like maybe they didn't have enough time to tell
everything they wanted to. Yeah,
I feel like for what it is, as cool as it was seeing Ash and Elvis, I feel like there could have been a lot more to be desired in the story.
Yeah,
element of things.
Yeah, and seeing their interaction together seemed a little crammed. You know what I mean? Like I said, they were doing 5 different things while they're getting to know each other. Stuff like that could have done to be benefited from having more time to breathe, giving us a little. But again, I'm not a comic book reader. I'll bet you anything that they tend to move at a pretty fast pace.
I would say so. Because also there's a big story. There's a big thing at the end. So is Ash just hanging out in whatever time period this is now?
Yeah, maybe.
You never see him leap back.
No, unless Army of Darkness just has a way of throwing him into different scenarios through time, and he's just
guess maybe we're missing out by not reading this Army of Darkness
we
series.
Might be.
I don't know.
I mean, I know we're missing out because Ash in Space
must read. I'm sure.
I only need
yeah I feel like that'd be great.
It's not going to be contrived at all. I could see us getting Ash
guarantee
there.
It, no.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a pretty cool miniseries I've always wanted to read. Now, I found these once at Half Price Books, which is a little chain here in Columbus. Yeah. They have comics, and they always have really kind of rare comics. And I found for $80, I could have gotten issues. I think it was 2 through 6. I think is what it is.
Oh yeah,
but it's Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
Oh. Okay.
And I've always heard really good things about it, and it's based off a script for the original sequel to Freddy versus Jason.
Really? Were they going to throw Ash
Freddy
in
versus
there?
Jason? The original idea for the sequel to Freddy versus Jason was going to be Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
Oh, see, that's
because the Necronomicon. If you ever watched Jason Goes to Hell, which is the 9th movie in the series, the Necronomicon from Evil Dead is a big part of that movie. That's what brings Jason back.
Bring him back. So they tie it in. So it's already in a film tied together with. Yeah, it's already
canon. And hell, Freddy's glove is in Evil Dead.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Boy, it's been a minute on the Cult of Campbell. I'm forgetting a lot of our tie-ins and stuff.
Yeah. So there's a
Getting
lot of
rusty.
stuff there. But yeah, that was originally going to be the sequel. And they wrote a script and everything. And that comic series is based off the screenplay.
Well, that sounds like it's worth checking out. Maybe
It's really
we'll have
rare
to add that to the roster. Oh no,
hard to
it's
come
rare.
It's really I found it's pretty pricey. So
Yeah.
they put out like an omnibus, with all of them together, and I think it's pretty pricey.
Darn it.
Yeah, I would love to actually check that out.
That would be cool. That sounds like a good one.
But yeah, this right here was great. It was a fun ride.
Yeah.
We can't really rate this as we usually would here on Call to Campbell, though, is the problem, because we were able to rate the quality of Campbell on Man with Screaming Brain,
right?
Because that's Bruce's story, and Bruce had a heavy hand in writing it.
Yes,
or he wrote it.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, with this, I mean, aside from his likeness, there's no real Bruce.
No involvement from Bruce at all.
No involvement. Like he's not listed in anywhere in the front panel.
No.
Like I said, only his likeness is what's used. So
yeah,
it's kind of hard to rate it. So what we're going to do.
So no Groovy rating.
You can blame Eric for this. This is his idea.
Oh
we're
man,
to rate it.
Throwing me right under the bus.
We're going to rate it rock or roll.
Yes.
Rock is good. Roll is bad.
Right.
I assume. Is that it? Okay.
That sounds good to me. Yeah.
It's a one-off rating for this. For this special episode, special Culttober episode of Call to Campbell. I'm gonna go and rate. I'm gonna give my rating first.
All right.
I'm gonna say this movie, this comic rocks. This is a great read. I read it in one sitting. I only spent, I think, $10 on it, so it wasn't like I broke the bank or anything to get it.
Yeah,
it's a nice little piece to go in, my Bruce Campbell collection, and it's always good because, man, like you mentioned earlier in the episode, there's been a craving for more Bubba Hotep since we did the first one.
Yeah,
and when the option came up for us to have Bubba Hotep return to Call to Campbell, we jumped on it because it's something we've wanted for a while. And this is probably the best way to get it without reading the novels. Is we get to see Bubba Hotep, or we get to see Elvis interact with Ash, who is, of course, another Bruce Campbell iconic character. So I love this. It was a great read. It's a cool thing to have, and I will say there's something to be desired from the story. But man, I do love this idea, this team up, and I think it went really well. So I'm gonna say it rocks. This is a good book. If you have the ability to get it and read it, it's a must for any Bruce fan, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, hey, there you go. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna agree with you. It rocks. They really capture the spirit of Ash in particular really well. So even though they didn't have Bruce Campbell to work with directly on this, I feel like they really captured that. It makes me want to read more of these Army of Darkness comics, like to see what in the hell's going on with Ash these days.
I wish it had been novels. I wish it had been novels.
I know. Seriously. I was going to say, I would kind of give it a roll, but I know that my bias is just like when it comes to reading comics, it's just not something I'm used to. And
right.
So any shortcomings that this story has, I'm attributing to that, just my lack of acclimation to reading comics. You know what I mean?
I'd agree.
Always books or movies for me. It's seeing words and images both is confusing to my monkey brain. So, but no, it's great. Really fast paced story. The quips are good. I love how fucking punny this is. It's wonderful. I could just picture Ben's head exploding as the puns mounted and the music the song references, are clever as hell. So
that's
good.
So disappointing. That's the it's disappointing thing about this. I wish Ben could have been part of it. I know on this one, but
I know
it is what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, so it rocks. A lot of care put into. You can tell that the people that made this loved the movies that they were basing it off of.
Yes.
So that to me is really important in a story, especially when you're touching somebody else's material. It's really important to respect it. I feel like they did. So
agreed.
I have to.
So there you go.
Yeah.
And this is certified rocking.
Yeah. All rock, no roll, baby.
All rock, no roll.
Guess. I'm so sorry. That was my fault. Please don't unsubscribe. Please stay with us.
No, definitely don't. Because this is Culttober.
It's
This is our big celebration of all things Halloween, and it is a
Right.
jam-packed month. We have
Yeah, this is our
so
month.
much going on.
You don't
this
even
month.
know that I'm sober, listener. So give me a
Wow.
break. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's our month.
it is. It's a wild month. We've got so much in store. So much you guys already seen. I mean, Cult of Campbell's back.
Yep.
At this point, I believe you've already heard Mike and I also making a return to another iconic Bruce Campbell role.
Ooh, yes.
Maniac Cop 2.
Oh, so exciting. Yes. You talked someone into watching it with you.
I did, and I converted him into a fan of Maniac Cop 2, and I've been saying it for years that Maniac Cop 2 is a great film, and no one believes me.
We're
And
all
I finally
human.
got Mike to watch it. Mike,
No one is above corruption.
nope. That must be. I mean, you guys thought Mike was impervious to it, but he watched Maniac Cop 2, and now he wants to watch Maniac Cop 3.
Oh my God.
Culttober 3. We might
Culttober
see
3.
another return of Maniac Cop 3, which would finish up the trilogy, which I've only seen once.
Yep.
We've had Bailey and I sat down and we watched. What the fuck did we watch? Mind Warp. We watched Mind Warp, which warped my mind. That was
Mind Warp again. Yeah, it did just now. Mind Warp.
It did. That's what it is. It's causation from that movie. Me and Bailey did that. Then me and Eric right here doing this. But we have 2 more episodes of Cult of Campbell returning before we go into slumber for till Christmas.
Ooh.
We have Terminal Invasion, which cost me a lot to get.
I'm so sorry.
And that's a jam-packed episode. We're going to have almost the whole crew on that one.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a pretty big episode.
That was a fun episode.
Yeah.
It was nice having the
And
cult
then
together.
On Halloween Day, we're going to watch Sundown, the Vampire Retreat, which I've never seen. So
Ooh, no, me neither.
very excited for
Even
that
at the time of this recording, I haven't seen it yet.
It's same here.
So-
I'm waiting to watch it. I'm probably going to watch after we're done recording, actually.
Exciting. All right.
So, but yeah, Culttober, huge months for us. We've got all kinds of YouTube exclusives on youtube.com/culttalknet, which as of this recording, we just reached 100 subscribers. Might not sound like a lot, but it means a lot to us.
It
so
sure
anyone
does.
subscribe to this, we thank you so much. That's a nice little milestone for us.
Yeah, that is a very encouraging number to reach. No, I appreciate
especially for
every
Eric.
single
Eric
subscriber.
puts a lot of work into the YouTube.
Yeah, well, not just me, but I do cry sometimes over it. It's fine.
Yeah, and that we're of course referring to Cult of Lore, which is Ben and Eric's podcast, where they put together not just the podcast you get here on all your feeds, Spotify, all that stuff. You can go to youtube.com/culttalknet and see full-length video versions of those podcasts.
Yeah.
That Eric and Ben put together.
A lot of imagery there to help you understand what we're referencing and stuff like that, as well as like the part that we love the most is putting together like quotes from the lore and building a scene around them. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, which you guys do have 2 special episodes coming up here on
Yes, we do.
October for Culttober. You guys have a werewolf episode and a movie review, which you guys have never done. So
that's a Cult of Lore first. It's a movie review, and we're able to do it because it's a movie that kind of ties in with Warhammer. And so you guys will get to see.
Check that feed. If you're a Warhammer fan, and also a horror movie fan, you're gonna be very interested in this one. And you guys are doing werewolves, which is really cool. I'm really excited to hear that one. I think it's already been out. And I'm pretty disappointed in that one because I know you didn't ask me to do the quote on that one, which I'm pretty disappointed in because I do a really good Jack Nicholson from Wolf.
Let's hear it real quick.
I'm Jack Nicholson, and well, I'm a werewolf.
Oh, that's perfect. No,
right?
We'll definitely have our people call your people.
I'm Jack Nicholson, and well, I'm a werewolf.
It's great. It's great. We definitely might maybe use you for that. Definitely.
I know.
Maybe.
We're probably at flag now because
right. Yeah.
Jack
we're gonna get,
the makers of Wolf are going to flag our video. Yep. Like we used a clip from that movie.
Yeah. So. Seriously.
That iconic Jack Nicholson line of "Well, I'm Jack Nicholson, and well, I'm a werewolf." That iconic
there it is
line.
Again. Yeah. Yep. You're still doing that spot on impression. It's good. No, it's great.
It's scary sometimes.
It is. It scares me. I'm going to be dreaming about Jack Nicholson now.
And how he's a werewolf.
And
we have Cult Talk Conspiracy. We got 2 episodes of that coming out. And this all leads up to our big Halloween Day double release. We're dropping Cult of Campbell on Halloween. But
Ooh.
Mike also twisted my arm because this is supposed to come out the day before Halloween, but everyone twisted my arm. On Halloween Day, we'll be also releasing our very special watch along of Beetlejuice, which features the whole Cult Talk Net crew in person watching the movie together, which we haven't done in forever.
It has been a long time, and it was
so
great.
much fun.
All of us coming together and eating candy until we got sick. And
2 gigantic pizzas.
2 massive pizzas. Those were the biggest pizzas I've ever seen in my fucking life.
They were
the
monstrous.
biggest. I can say that definitively. Big.
Yeah, they were huge.
Yeah.
We didn't even touch the second one.
No, we didn't. We
all took it home.
We barely made it through the first one. I'm serious. People, this thing was
did.
massive.
I think we have a picture of Mike in front of it all to post.
I did.
Yeah.
Just for scale, just so you guys can see, like, we're not exaggerating. This fucking pizza was unnecessarily big.
Also, just for whenever he goes on one of his high horses about eating carbs.
just picture of
that
him
fucking
with this huge
pizza. Yeah, after him, he likes to take his little high horse about carbs, but he won't eat it if you put it in front of him. So. But yeah, so this has been great, Eric. I'm glad to have you back on Call Campbell, and we got some more coming. But for now, this has been Army of Darkness, Bubba Hotep, the crossover we've all wanted, and we finally got it here thanks to the fine people at Dynamite IDW. Make sure you follow us on all our social medias at Cult Talk Net. That's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, but they keep taking our videos down. We own the audio. They keep flagging us for Cult Talk Conspiracy. But I own the music that we use. They keep flagging. We own the music. So how that keeps happening, I have no idea. And TikTok does not have a way to. They don't have a way to dispute claims.
Really
ridiculous.
They're just like, nope. It doesn't work. So it's down.
This is copyrighted music. This copyrighted music that we own. So
maybe some of our young listeners can give us some advice. If
I've got a friend that works at TikTok.
Okay.
I got a friend that works TikTok. I'm going to get them on the case.
You know people. Okay.
I know people.
He knows people.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll have
get this
TikTok by the balls by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah. We'll have them by their talks.
Yeah.
I think it's time for me to go.
I think it is, too. Yeah, you're hanging on by the thread at this point. So there you go. Make sure you follow us, Cult Talk Net. From all of us here at Cult of Campbell, I've been Ty.
I've been Eric.
Stay groovy.
Hail to the king, baby.
That's it? That's the best you got?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.